Because in those results, you see, out of my 3 children, 2 of them are not. They are not my children. The first child is not mine, and the third child is not mine. That means only the middle one is my child. And I presented these results to my wife. And when I confronted her, she just broke down crying. She said, "All right, hello there, my dear brother. Actually, anyone who feels the need to share, gradually, we've been getting younger men, and even older gentlemen. I'm very happy to have you on today, because it proves that the reach or the trust people have in the show it's growing. It's not just a show for women anymore. At first, there was this impression that, oh, it's just the ladies coming on to share their woes with Uncle Martin again. Probably another story about a cheating husband. But now, I see that since this morning, we've had young men, we've had women, and now we have you. I'm really happy to see that. You probably already know this, right? Our stories are compiled and posted on the channel. People will watch, listen, and leave their comments and suggestions. There's no right or wrong. Everyone will have their own perspective. You're the one who gets to pick through them to see what feels right for you. Just take what works for you and apply it. The following is the man's story. I have loved this show for a very long time, and I've just been following it quietly. I listen to it, especially when I'm feeling stressed. That's when I usually listen. However, my own story, I don't think I've ever heard one like it on here. That's why I wanted to share what's on my mind and ask for your advice. I'm 48 years old this year. I have a wife and 3 children. My wife is a very gentle, hard-working woman, and she spends all her days diligently and devotedly at home, taking care of the children. I have 3 children, and my life was pretty stable. No, that's not the issue. It's just that recently my mom came up from the countryside to stay with us because she's sick. So, while she was staying with us for a while she was helping take care of the kids, she noticed something. My wife was showing a lot of strange behavior, and my mom just kept pushing me to get a DNA test to see if those children are really mine. And me, well, I didn't think it was that serious. But in the end, I did it because my mother asked, just to put her mind at ease. But before I get to the DNA story, I have to tell you about our past first. The story of how we got together. You see, I was in love with my wife. It was a one-sided love, a secret crush, you know. And at the time, she already had a boyfriend. Then one day, that boyfriend of hers, he ran off and abandoned her. When he found out that my wife now was pregnant with his child, he just shirked all responsibility. He just left. And that's when I found out what was going on. I went to her side, and I told her that I would be the one to take responsibility, that I would be the father to the baby. And she agreed. That's how we got together. Ran off. So at that time, I saw that she was completely devastated. So I went to her. I knew what was happening, and I helped her. I took her to the hospital to take care of the problem. After that, for a while, I just stayed by her side and comforted her, and she was touched. And so, we ended up getting married. After we got married, one after another, we had 3 children. But my job often requires me to be away from home, while my wife just took care of the house and the kids. All 3 of them. She's basically been a homemaker her whole life. She raised them all by herself like that. So, I was very at ease. So, yeah, going back to the issue of my mom pushing me to go get the DNA test. So when I finally gave in to my mom and went to get it done, the truth is, when I held those results in my hand, I felt like the ground beneath my feet just fell away. And I felt that I couldn't hold on to anything at all. I didn't dare tell my friends, didn't dare tell my parents. I didn't dare breathe a single word to my own siblings. I just kept it all inside, in silence, until today, when I came to you. Because in those results, you see, out of my 3 children, 2 of them are not my children. The first child isn't mine, and the third child isn't mine. That means only the one. In the middle is my child. And when I showed these results to my wife and confronted her, she just broke down crying. She told me that for the first child, she never went through with the abortion. She came to me and secretly gave birth to him. That Tom, she said, I was taking her to get it taken care of. She never actually did it. And then we came home and just got married like that because I was still young then. I thought he was mine. I didn't understand what was happening. Then the second child was mine, but the third child is not my child. She said that she had secretly gotten back together with her old flame. I mean, the boyfriend, the one who abandoned her in the beginning. So that means the firstborn and the youngest child. They're both from Dasuman, from that first boyfriend, the one who, knocked her up and ran. So I decided to file for divorce. But she cried, she begged, and the two kids, the ones who aren't mine, they still think I'm their biological father, and they told me that people outside are whispering, saying that Dad wants to divorce Mom because we're not his children anymore. They're so heartbroken, and they themselves, they love me so much, and I love them too. But to keep on living, to keep up this act, it's truly eating me up inside, immensely. I'm in so much pain because I was betrayed in the past. It was because of that person who betrayed me that I got with her. And now, it's also because of that same betrayal that she betrayed me in return. And kids, they come home and just keep crying like that. So, honestly, my conscience is eating me up. In my role as a father, because I raised them, I've been with them since the day they took their first breath. And now they're all grown up. One is in 12th grade, one is in 8th grade, one is in 5th grade. And now I just don't know what to do. And I reached out to you, really hoping you could offer some advice to help me sort this out and make a decision. Thank you. That was the story from our caller, who is 48 years old this year. Is your work-life stable? I mean, you travel for work and can still provide for both your wife and kids, while your wife is just a homemaker, and you can support the whole family like that. You must be in business, right? Oh, I work in import sport business. Do you have your own company? Yes, I have my own company. So I would say that financially, economically, you're relatively stable, setting this issue aside. If, let's say, this whole DNA test incident hadn't happened, how would you rate your wife? Give her a score. Before you found out, my life was very stable. She was completely devoted to her husband and children. She didn't socialize much. Not like those other ladies out there. She was very diligent, staying home as a homemaker and taking care of her husband and kids. Have you thought about why your mother told you to get a DNA test? I did ask her. My mom said that when she was living with my wife and me, whenever I wasn't home, she noticed my wife showing a lot of unusual behavior, like making sneaky phone calls, or suddenly going out for things without saying a word. So, she had a woman's intuition, a gut feeling that told her something was wrong, and she urged me to do it. Right. Well, that's your story in a nutshell. But resolving it is not easy at all. It must be said that the biggest thing for a man, the greatest pain, isn't losing money. It's not going bankrupt. It's not being betrayed by friends, but it's being cheated on by your own wife. You know, in the 30 years I've been doing this work, there are some people who just can't handle it. Some hot-tempered people, well, their lives are in ruins by now, unlike you, who can still come here and sit asking, Martin, what should I do? For others, it's a complete disaster. Homicides have even happened. There are some men who just can't take it, and the moment they see a glass, they start drinking. Then they come home drunk and start taking it out on their wives, grabbing knives, cutting boards, rulers, and sticks. and everything is shattered. Then the children start to realize they look down on their mother. They look down on their father. They can't stand living in that house anymore, so the children have all scattered. The wife, too ashamed after being slapped by her husband, has now disappeared somewhere. And the man, well, he's been arrested by the police. That's a situation that can very easily happen. But your case, of course, is truly difficult. From the outside, it might look like there is no storm, but I'm sure the silent storm in your heart is raging. The more introspective a person is, the more tormented they feel. I know that you are living through a period that is not easy at all. But at the very least, you haven't let it explode or erupt into fits of rage, which is already very good. Because, in truth, you are mature. You've been around, you've traveled here and there. And there's one more thing here. Let's take the opportunity of your story to say this. It's true what they say in life. What the eye doesn't see, the heart doesn't grieve over. In life, not every truth is a good thing. Seeking the ultimate truth can end up hurting the entire system. Like family, it's true, there is no joy for anyone when this truth is exposed. So, it's true. If I could wish for anything right now, I'd wish for things to be just like they were before. Blissfully ignorant, where I could just firmly believe, in the belief that my wife was at home, taking care of the children, that our 3 children were and respected their father. I'd go to work, bring money home, to provide for my wife and kids, and I would be at peace. But that's just a wish, because what's done is done. I don't think getting a divorce solves anything. The pain, you carry it inside of you, don't you? If divorcing meant that you could just instantly forget everything, then yes, that would be the solution. For example, if it were a burden on your shoulders, then I'd say just throw it off and it would be gone. But now, even if you were to dig a hole and crawl inside, the pain would still be inside you. Unless, of course, you develop dementia. Only then would you not feel it. Otherwise, this wound, it will heal, but the scar will be with you for life. Yeah, you're right when you say that sharing this with anyone right now is very difficult. With relatives, with friends, well, the people who sympathize are few, while the people who, pardon me for saying, speak with malicious intent are not so few. Yes, they'll say things like, he's raising another man's kids, and so it turns out, he just buried his head in his work. Especially the ones who are not as well off as you. They see you're doing well, earning a lot of money. They'll say, oh, look at him, buried himself in his business to make all that money, to get rich, only to come home and raise some other guy's kids. And then, oh well, you see, you can have a sweet, gentle, and obedient wife at home. And this and that will still happen. In the end, you're the one who gets hurt. That's why no one can really help. Don't share it with people when you know that more harm than good will come of it. The second thing is, with the children, don't say anything either. Let your kids keep the faith they've always had, the way they've truly respected you. You love them too. You've never shown even a hint of favoritism. So, let's keep it that way. In a way, to hurt the fewest people, instead of having a whole group of people collapse, you contain it. It's just like when a pandemic sweeps through a village. You know, whoever can still be taken away to be quarantined. Just get them into quarantine. Let's just call this COVID, shall we? Yes, COVID, yes, because the seed of the disease is already there. So, try to let just 1 or 2 people be sick, and then work on healing them, while making sure the rest are not affected. Your mother doesn't need to know either. Don't say anything, okay? Oh God, Mom! Those are your grandchildren. You might do something that gives me a heart attack. I've already looked into it. Telling her now won't solve anything. Old people overthink things. Their blood pressure will shoot up. 1 mouth can keep a secret, but 9 mouths will leak it. Tomorrow, she'll be out there wailing all over the village. that so-and-so is shameless, ill-bred, or something like that, and in the end, you'll never be able to take that story back. So, regarding your mother, don't say anything more. This story stays within the scope of two people. Your wife and you are the only ones who know. And now, you can choose one of a few paths to healing, but this healing will likely have to be done from a relative distance. With your job, you probably don't. You don't have the opportunity to have to go somewhere. For example, like you don't have a branch office in New York City or Ovary, in San Francisco or something, for 3 to 4 days, because your job is in import, export. So, it's common that while your home is in Washington, you frequently have to be at the port of Baltimore to import containers and export them to South Korea. So, there's a lot of work. When you're at the port, there's customs, the tax office, and all those jobs that get held up by some minor paperwork issue. Then, I have to be there to handle relations and to manage the goods. But I'm feeling like I need some time to live alone. You could say that if you get to be in New York City, then just say that there's a branch office in there. It's a newly opened branch, and it really needs my close supervision to be there, to make sure everything runs smoothly, to get it stable. So I'll go there. I'll, stay for a while. 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, something like that. Once the agency or the branch in there has developed and is stable, then I'll come back. Yes, keep in touch with me. But let's just be apart for a little while. Yes, first of all, so that your heart can't be hurt anymore, can't get all scratched up again. Because when we hate someone, we just want that person to be in pain too. It's so easy to take your anger out on them. Normally, if you don't see them, it's fine. But seeing them coming and going is just so irritating. I can't believe a person like that, while I was away, would dare to contact someone at home, then sneak out and sleep together. For example, just thinking about that image, you reconstruct the whole movie in your head. You'll be in so much pain. You go there, you focus on your work. For example, if you're down at the Port of Baltimore, you can absolutely rent an apartment down at the Port of Baltimore. Just call it a representative office or something. Between work and family, you have to find a balance. Just let your work and private life become one. For now, create some distance for a while. Wait for what they call the storm and the waves to calm down first, then deal with the aftermath. No matter what the consequences, it's like take a hurricane or a tornado as an example. Just let it sweep everything away first. While it's happening, what are you going to do? Try to fight it or block it. When it's in the middle of a storm, you don't stick your head out trying to cover this or shield that. Who knows if you'll block anything, and you might even get hurt even more. So, with what's already happened, you should take a step back for a bit to calm your mind and just watch life. Secondly, it's a way you could call revenge or a way to torment her. She will have time to reflect. She think, my husband, he must be absolutely furious. Now, I've made a huge mistake. I'm so full of regret now. If I'm not careful, being down there, he's being so quiet. And then at some point, he's just going to leave me. And that will be the beginning of her having to strategize, having to change. She might make some moves to soften you up. I'm truly sorry. Ever since you went down to the port, you staying there, I'm in pain. I feel so humiliated. At times, I even thought about doing a